Hello everyone, my name is Chance Brunton and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. I'm joined once again by Tyler.
Hello.
We are in the escape room and it's a bit of a messy one. For us, the clear choice is to ally because we are voting against somebody who can't be here. So it makes sense for us to just ally because they'll auto-ally.
Yeah,
But the other games are a little more messy.
One question though is, like, we've seen enough to say that AB games round 2 and onwards probably always have a game over and a continue, but why would this one game over?
Well, this one can game over if K or Clover get out, which I don't think Clover's going to, but K could get out.
Yeah, but then the question is, why would that change, I guess? So we have seen changing, but it's always been related to your game.
What?
Like, the question then is, why would it change when you change? But I guess we have seen changing. It's just always been in your game so far.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room.
All of the doors are open.
All right, let's go have a look at the results.
Okay.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now please direct.
Double betray, yep. Timidify, double betray. What the hell?
Yeah. I was really proud when I, realized this before I actually voted, but I still went down this route anyways.
That she woke up, rushed up here?
Yeah.
And... yeah.
So
what did you do? What did you deduce that on, or did you just guess it could happen?
I was like, well, hold on, something has to happen, in this game that has to be under our control, I guess. Or at least I think that's what I thought. And so I was like, hold on, there's still a minute left and we closed our gates. Something could happen where Alice could wake up.
So, okay.
So it was like, I knew this was gonna kill me, but I still went down the ally path first anyways, just because.
I wonder if we're gonna get locked on this route as well, because now we're at another case where we're -1, so we're gonna die. Or at least we would if we didn't think of a way out of it.
Points have been assigned or subtracted. Please.
I mean, this could be the game over, and that would make sense.
What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. That's not possible. It's also really curious because what incentive would she have to do this? Because neither of us were going to get out. Sigma and Luna both didn't have the points to escape.
Yeah. But
so even if we had betrayed her, she wouldn't have died. We wouldn't have escaped.
Yeah, but you'll see her reasoning, I guess, in the other route.
How can Alice vote be betray? How can Alice's vote be betray? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. Yeah, we've just seen this. First would be the Soparil.
It's different enough, I guess.
Yeah, I blinked and my vision started to blur.
Cotton.
Yeah.
Wobbling.
Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
No, why?
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open.
No, Dio was shocked as well, because he's still hiding it.
Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed that the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone into that room. I'd watched them all. And yet, there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Alice.
All ice.
The world was gradually going black, and my mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Has she run in at the last minute after Luna and I had entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Then the darkness closed over my mind as well, and my questions were gone forever. So wait, in the other route, we get enough time to have a standoff with Dio, and then say, I can still make it, I can find a way. And in this route, we just give up?
I guess. We don't have as much motivation, I guess, in this route.
Yeah, just a psychological thing.
It's our life on the line, but still, like, we don't have Quark, I guess, and the promise and, like, as much anger and stuff.
Yeah, not enough adrenaline going, I suppose. Well now, screw you! We're gonna betray Alice! And it's gonna be an all-betray round.
Remain.
2 can play at this game, and we can play using parallel worlds.
2 can play at this game, but Infinite of Me can also play at this game.
Yeah. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room.
Why? What happened to it's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting?
You'll see.
I thought...
Or maybe we'll see, because...
We aren't betraying someone who isn't voting.
Or are we? Because did she vote in this round? Because now we've changed our choice, it could change. Maybe this time she didn't vote.
Yeah, I guess the Alice route is all about that so far.
Oop. There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I'd picked betray instead. It had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to the betray button against my will. Right. Well, we should go see the results.
Really? We already know what they are.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that.
Just simple math.
I wouldn't really
The
call
look
it
in her
math,
eyes was
but-
more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. What?
I wouldn't really call it math, but yeah.
I guess it's arithmetic? I turned away and almost ran toward the projector. Anything to get away from those eyes.
Well, I was thinking, like, the ally and betray choices.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
I guess she's interpreting it that if the allied and betrayed is obviously fixed, which she thinks it is,
Yeah,
then
I guess.
it just becomes a game of arithmetic.
Yeah.
It's it's a more complex game when somebody's actually playing. Although at that point it's game theory, right? And game theory is a field of mathematics still.
Mhm.
So yes.
Please direct your...
All right, all betrayals. Yeah. Okay.
Imagine if this happened on the good route.
Now Luna's gonna be like, how did you know? What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Alice's vote be betray? That's not possible. Alice. She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from?
Where had she gone?
As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it?
I wonder what her reaction was in the other route when we voted ally and then she had just killed us.
Yeah, you were totally the victim, Alice.
Coward.
Me, a coward? You've got some balls saying that to me after you picked betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible.
Oh, cry me a
I'm more
river.
resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone into the AB room.
Yes, right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
And what if we had voted ally, hypothetically, and you had killed us? That would have been awful, wouldn't it? You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fi and Dio. See, Fi and Dio voted betray. Fi was gonna die, and Temioji could have died.
Yeah, I'm surprised Fi didn't plan it, but she did end up choosing the right result.
Yeah, so Fi and Temioji could have died.
Yeah.
Yes. If Dio had chosen ally, Fi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen ally, Dio would have killed her.
The difference is their lives were on the line, or people's lives were on the line.
Yeah, Fi can justifiably say self-defense there. She had to vote betray.
Yeah, and Dio could say the same about Tenmyoji, sort of. Though not self-defense.
Defense of other in his case.
Mm-hmm.
But frankly, Alice, everybody would have been fine if Alice had been betrayed, because it would have just taken us up off the floor and it would have left Alice with 4, which is more than she started with, and would put her on a par with us. And nobody would have been able to get out. So there really wasn't any problem with her being betrayed.
Yeah, which is the point we're making.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
I turned to look at the results again. Before, I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word across all the roster: betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else.
Everyone
Had it been the bombs? Yeah. Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. Well, Zero already does something because he shuffles the bracelets. And so maybe next round there'll be pairs that are more amenable.
Maybe, yeah.
I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright, guys, pay attention. You've probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Kay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution.
Good riddance.
Sorry.
Dio.
Well, in that case...
Et tu, Fi?
Yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here.
The thing is, if she escaped, she'd be leaving Clover behind, which is what really confuses me.
I guess, yeah. She did, like...
Come on, Clover.
We didn't
Let's
know,
go.
though, because Clover had 6, so she could have escaped maybe.
Potentially.
on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too?
No,
Are you sure? I chose betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something. Right?
Good thing it did, because it saved our lives. My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed.
Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
Yep, they shuffle around every time.
Yeah.
I'd like to see hers too. Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pear. What about you?
I'm a magenta pear.
I wonder what the others are.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
Let's start with the infirmary. We've got about 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So, what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah, physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anyone else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Like, surviving and getting out? Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everyone chose betray, including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy? Like Zero? Or Dio?
Yes, a common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
Dio! After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Accelavir. Yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Well, do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right! The memory card! I pulled it out of my pocket and held it toward her.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it, though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
In the infirmary? Huh?
Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Dio and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then...
Yes, I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
That's where Temyoji is anyway, which is convenient.
Yeah.
Luna and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Temyoji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we'd left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I suppose if Quark got the same dose as Alice, which was a full vial of that stuff, then he would be out for much longer than she would be too.
Yeah.
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card, and how we'd come to the infirmary in hopes that we could discover the contents of the latter.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen, exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this? We've seen this combination before. We've seen these letters before.
It might have been in one of the archive file secret things, but I don't remember that exactly.
I remember this exact sequence of letters.
It might also have been in the intro. I'm not sure.
Maybe? Because I remember very distinctly the 6 rows alternating with B's and C's, and in the middle of the top row, they're 3 pairs, and in the middle of the top one, you can read the word 1.
Yeah.
So I remember this exact text, so I've definitely seen it.
We haven't
But
seen
I don't
it through
remember
gameplay, I'll say that much.
It might have been in a rapid flashback, but
Maybe that was it, yeah.
but it's come up somewhere in this. I just don't remember where. I wonder if it has something to do with that key that's on, like, the DO end route or something?
Maybe.
I don't know.
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
Could these be passwords for the bombs? And they're encrypted using that key that Dio had?
Maybe.
No, because it's 3 sets of the same characters, so it'd be the same thing 3 times.
Yeah,
In
I
other
guess.
words, the first 2 rows just repeat.
But
Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something?
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish. Hey, Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up? Is it some kind of
Does
cipher?
any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
I'm calling a Caesar cipher. Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
Myrmidons? For some reason, I felt like I'd heard that name before.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb?
It was said by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, I've got a ton of questions for you. But let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What if somebody, happened to remember the key?
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do, then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of a job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not your enemy.
3 out of the 7 people that aren't Alice and Clover are in here, so there's a decent... 3 out of the 7 people that aren't Alice or Clover are in this room, so there's a decent chance to her, at least the terrorist is in here.
Yeah, there's just under a 50% chance.
Mhm.
I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she'd leapt up and run out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice! I took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters? Or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I've spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. We walked down the path to where it ended, next to the pond. We used the bench again. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak. That seems really awkward. Because the pond is like back at like 5 o'clock when you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah, you have to like
and
face
it's like 30
the
feet
other
away.
person if you're on one end.
Yeah, you'll be staring at the other person's back of their head. And it's like a long way away.
Yeah.
You don't hate me?
Although it looks different in this picture.
I guess because you're like higher up or something. I don't know.
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean in the AB game?
Yes.
But you failed.
I was so scared.
You had a 50-50 success rate. She technically succeeded and then failed,
Yeah,
so...
But she doesn't know that.
It wouldn't be. Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying, and everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could.
Okay, I see. It's still an after effect of the Radical 6.
It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after, right? The people who killed your dad?
Yes.
Did they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right, then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. Is this going to be a lengthy, non-voice acted exposition?
Yeah. There's probably one for like every character. I'm not entirely sure. Oh,
Am I doing this?
Right, I forgot that
Or do
this
you
was
wanna do
my
it?
voice. My father is
Yeah, this is your turn.
Yeah, so I
You're
didn't
up.
really have much of a voice for Alice. So
Well, now is your chance to develop a voice for Alice.
I don't know how to make a voice for Alice besides just, I guess, making it like Luna's, but I'll just keep
Neither
my
do I.
regular-
I mean, I just do my best to try and differentiate as much as possible. You know,
Yeah.
it's a skill that you develop by practice, and without any practice, you know, it's hard. So it's like,
Yeah.
just do your best, I
Yeah,
guess.
my father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist, and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there was several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I miss my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full-ride scholarship straight out of high school, and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time the name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding, but trying to pin down any kind of misdeed on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. There was 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I'd expected. They told me they'd been locked up inside of the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were the Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. That was the first Nonary games before Zero.
Yeah, but how was that connected? I guess we don't know yet.
Yeah. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll just call H for now, that had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause.
Oh.
So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might have been simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before, and actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she'd had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in the basement room, I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to look at his body, it was already cold. It was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He'd said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arms were 2 rows of numbers, comprised of 8s and 9s. It took a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They'd destroy my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our operation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared.
So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AB room.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was just because I was reading it, but that seemed even longer than the other ones.
It was it did seem like a long passage, but you did a great job.
Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah, thanks. She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs, and based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that that person is a Myrmidon, right?
Yes.
And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but...
How can we do that?
I told you. We need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's a key?
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code.
Yeah, but you're talking to somebody who might be thinking of like a metal key.
Yeah.
So you might want to like elaborate on that a bit.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that this room, the last one we did in this route, was literally had keys in it.
Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait, a long string of numbers? Could that be... Seven 838098428094241990551. Oh yeah, Sigma is a robot. He not only remembers it, he remembers it across dimensions. He's a robot.
What the hell?
Achievement unlocked. He was convicted of a string of numbers. I was almost as surprised as she was. The numbers had just kind of appeared in my mind, and I was saying them before I knew what I was doing. Alice looked at me incredulously, and I stared back.
Wait, can you say that again?
7815361098838094241990551.
That's 198,449,351 to the third power.
What?
That number you just told me. Prime factor decomposition on that number gets you 198,449,351 to the third power.
I'll take your word for it.
Is that really a prime number? I mean, I can't refute whether or not it is, but that seems like a big prime number.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think big prime numbers are used in encryption, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I guess.
But I'm more surprised at her ability to, like, verify and do this in her head. You're talking about reducing an integer to a series of prime numbers that you multiply together to get it, right? Like, if you have 30, then you'd get 2 times 3 times 5, right?
Exactly. You probably learned that in junior high, right?
So you're saying that 198,449,351 is a prime. And if you multiply it by itself 3 times, you get that nonsense.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't tell me you just did all of that in your head.
I did do all of that in my head. Simple mental arithmetic.
Simple.
What? No way. That's impossible.
I told you. I'm better at math than most people.
Most.
That's not better at math.
Look at you. You just recited a huge string of numbers. That seems pretty astounding, too.
She has a point.
Where did you find that number anyway?
I didn't know what to say. What would I tell her? That it just came to me?
Can't tell me, huh? Fine. I'm pretty sure that's the key to the code, though. I know the Myrmidons use prime factors for their keys. And there aren't a lot of 25-digit numbers that turn out to be the third power of a prime number. I think there's a very good chance that number you memorized was specifically created by someone.
Could you explain that with small words?
Well, look at the prime factors of your number. 198,449,351 to the third power. I think that's our hint for cracking the code. You still don't get it? Try to remember the code we saw in the infirmary. What did it say on the monitor?
I think the first row was... that.
Yeah.
And the second row?
The other thing. I think. Then they just repeat.
Wow, you've got a pretty impressive memory. We could really use someone like you back at the...
Well, keep going. How do we decode that?
You use 198,449,351 to point you to the right letters.
Well, yeah, but
And how do we do that?
what does that mean?
Yeah.
We figured that out
Well,
already.
the first number is 1, so take the first letter. The next number is 9, so go 9 letters over from the first one. Then 8 from that one. Just keep going until you get something. Make sense?
I ran over what she'd said in my head. The prime number Alice had given me was 198449351. So what would we get if we picked out letters like she'd explained? The first letter would be C from the top left. Then you move 9 to the right, which would give you O. Then 8 more to the right. Eventually, we'd get a word. And that word was... Oh god. You will have 6 chances to decode it. Do I need to write this number down, or is it going to display it on the screen?
I wrote it down just in case. I already did write it down myself, I mean.
198
449
449.
351.
Thank you. The code sheet won't be displayed when you input your answer, so it'd be wise to solve it now.
Oh,
Wait,
yes, I solve it
that
now.
means the sheet behind us as well? I'm going to move this for ease sake.
C would be the
We
first.
start with C. That's the first letter. So then we go
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's O.
Yeah, which is what it said. So,
M, B. 1, 2, 3, 4 is W.
wait, wouldn't from M4 be the P or R at the
What?
top right?
I thought it wrapped. How does it wrap? Because I thought it wrapped left to right, top to bottom.
Yeah, but like, if you go 4 over from M, that would be the I, then the O, then the B, and then the R, which would be the fourth one, right?
The R? Oh!
Or P. Whatever.
Oh, I didn't even see that column.
Yeah, because the arrows are sort of blocking it.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. So then 4 from that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. L?
Yeah.
And then we have 9, right?
Mhm.
E. It's like completed. 3 is T. And then 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E.
No.
And then 1 is D. Completed.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, see, it grays out the digits that aren't used.
Yeah.
So I guess if it does the same thing on like the username password screen, then it would imply that it uses the whole thing.
Yeah, usually. There was one time, though, that it didn't gray out stuff that you... Yeah, it was the security room. It didn't gray out, but it was short for one of them.
Oh well. So much for that. I wonder why it's inconsistent then.
I don't know.
I did it! Completed! That's it! That's the answer!
Completed? Are you sure?
Yeah. I did exactly what you told me to do, and the word I got is completed. Well, actually, it's completed. The code and the letters repeat every 2 lines. It just repeats.
Well, I can't remember the code like you can, but if you're certain, I believe you.
I'm definitely certain.
All right, then. I wonder what completed is supposed to mean, though.
What? Aside from the obvious, you mean? I'm guessing here it means mission complete. So that's what the transmitter was for.
Huh? What are you talking about? What transmitter?
I barely even heard her. Suddenly, my mind was full of memories that hadn't been there a moment before. It was like a wave had washed away the sand, revealing a bed of precious gems underneath. Are we going to remember that it's Dio? Oh my god, we're remembering so much information in this route!
Yeah. This would have been a to be continued if you hadn't seen Dio's End.
Holy Master,
Yeah.
my sacred mission is at last complete. With these 2 hands, mankind is saved. I am your will made flesh. In your name, I give thanks.
I'm surprised it's after the numbers, though.
Mm-hmm. Damn it! Why hadn't I realized it before? I could remember a series of numbers, but not this? I know, very selective memory.
Yeah.
At last, I remembered it now. Dio was a member of the Myrmidons. And not just any member, he was their leader. That meant, well, I mean, not sort of. That meant he had to be the one who'd planted the bombs.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Then answer my question. What the hell was that? What's this about a transmitter?
I didn't trust myself to try and explain it to her. More than likely, she'd just think I was insane. Even I could barely make sense of the sudden influx of new information.
Wait. Don't tell me you're one of the Myrmidons.
Nah, that's what I was afraid she was gonna think. If I was, do you really think I'd reveal myself like this?
Point.
Out of nowhere, Clover appeared. We've got to blurt out, it's Dio.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Really?
We're all down in the Floor B warehouse. Well, all of us but Luna and Quark.
Why?
Oh, we're out of time. Oh no, we've still got 45 minutes until the white doors open.
I know that.
Oh, okay. Hey, wait a minute. I thought UK and Quark didn't know about the white doors.
Tenmyoji told us about them.
Yeah.
He said he'd show us where they were, so we all followed him down to the Floor B warehouse.
I'm assuming you left Quark with Luna?
Yeah. Anyway, when we showed up, Phi and Kay were already there.
So?
Well, all of a sudden, Phi, Tenmyoji, and Dio all started yelling at each other.
What?
Why? Did something happen?
From the Betray round.
Yeah.
According to Clover, the last AB game had been the cause of their fight. Even though Tenmyoji had only one BP, Phi had chosen Betray. They started to fight, and since Dio had pressed Betray on behalf of his team, eventually he got dragged in too.
That seems odd. Phi only had one BP too. Her choice seems like a perfectly valid defensive move.
Ugh!
I kind of agree with
Just
that.
come with me. Kay's
Yeah,
trying
but-
to calm them down, but there's only one of him.
Yeah,
I can understand why Tenmyoji is upset, though.
Yeah, Tenmyoji can still be mad, but
Okay. Come on, Alice. Let's go.
Coming.
But tell the both of them, say, hey, before we go down there, I just want you to know, Dio is the Myrmidon. We probably want to bide our time in, pinning him on that, but just be aware. He cannot be trusted. All four of them were still there when we arrived. They seemed to have calmed down a bit, but the tension in the air was almost visible. I felt like I'd stepped into a room full of flammable gas. Even the smallest spark could turn the whole place into an raging inferno. Alright, well then let's spill our information. Even Kay, usually so calm and collected, was standing ramrod straight, with his hand balled into a fist at his side. I looked at Alice, pursed my lips, and then headed over to the angry knot of people occupying most of the room. Clover told me what's going on. This whole thing is stupid. You need to knock it off.
Stupid? What about this is stupid? We're talking about my life, you self-righteous dick!
I know, but yelling at each other isn't going to solve your problem. The best thing for us to do right now is to trust each other and get through this. Wouldn't you agree?
Hard to trust someone who tried to kill me.
Same to you. I told you letting Dio vote was a stupid idea. What did you think he was gonna do? You might as well have pressed the button yourself.
I couldn't just leave Quark alone.
That's no excuse. And where do you get off telling me I shouldn't have picked Betray? Did you even think that through? What, I was supposed to pick Ally? If I'd done that, I'd be dead right now.
I could say the same thing to you. Damn good thing Dio didn't choose Ally.
Please, that's enough from both of you. Sigma's right. This isn't the time to be bickering with each other.
Kay doesn't look angry.
yeah, it's probably actually a
You don't get
good
to
thing that
talk.
Tenmyoji didn't enter, because then Phi wouldn't know what was going on in there.
Yeah.
You tried to betray Clover and escape on your own.
Perhaps. But I think that's better than nearly killing someone.
Well, I only did it so that she wouldn't kill Tenmyoji.
Ugh! God damn it! Enough already! I roared with fury and my voice echoed and rebounded off the walls of the warehouse. Everyone fell silent. Listen, I'll take this from the rest of you, but not Dio! I won't let him pretend like he was being noble. I didn't know how long that silence would last, so I decided to put it all on the table. There was only one way I was going to be able to take control of the situation. Guys, listen to me. We really don't have time for this. I was met with a number of glares, but I soldiered on. See, the thing is, I figured out who planted the bombs.
What?
Is this what you were talking about earlier?
Sort of, yeah. I know which one of you it is.
Well, spit it out then.
Please, explain what's going on here.
I don't think I need to. They're going to admit their guilt in just a few minutes.
What?
Yeah, that's right, Dio. You're all gonna hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Even using Dio's phrase.
I know, that's beautiful.
I never noticed that before.
Or I guess I should say, Dio's mouth.
What are you on? You think I set those bombs?
Yes, I do.
Hey, if you're gonna accuse me, you better have some pretty damn good evidence, pal.
I'm not accusing you. I'm just stating a fact.
Oh yeah? Where the hell'd you get that fact?
Fun as it was, I knew taunting alone wouldn't be enough to make Dio confess. He'd just play dumb, he was good at it, and I'd get nothing.
Maybe because he actually was dumb.
Yeah, he's not playing. That meant I was gonna have to trick him. Well, you see, I'm actually from Free the Soul.
Free the Soul? What's that? Some kind of hippie shoe company?
Don't play dumb, Dio. Or should I call you Left? Brother ordered me to come here, to keep an eye on you. It was quick, but for just a moment I saw his eyes twitch. I leapt on that moment of weakness like a hungry dog on a steak. Fine. Skepticism is understandable. Admirable, even. But perhaps this will convince you. I pressed forward, pulling out every fact I could remember. I told Dio about Brother's background, and how his younger brother Left had been murdered. I mentioned casually that the Myrmidons were all clones of a single person. So, still not convinced? How about this? This number, remember it? Do a little prime factor decomposition on that, you get another number, to the third power. If I'm not who I say I am, how on earth could I possibly know that?
What? No, that's not possible.
Finally. So, let's start over, shall we? I was sent here to watch your every move. It seems our wise and noble brother doesn't trust you. He suspects betrayal.
No! You're lying!
I assure you, I'm not. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go outside and call him yourself with your transmitter?
No! No! You have to be lying! Brother trusts me! That's why he chose me for this mission! Why would he make me the leader of the Myrmidons if he...
Huh? Sorry, what was that?
Said, why would he have made me the leader of the Myrmidons if...
I grinned.
Wait, what the hell? Are you fucking kidding me?
Sorry, Dio. I've never even seen Brother.
What the hell was all that? How did you know all those things?
Dunno. Maybe I was divinely inspired.
Give me that shit!
What's going on?
What are these Myrmidons?
Dio and I stared at one another while Clover and Temyoji quickly explained to Defiant K about the memory card and the number 2 bomb, and about the code we'd found that was from a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
So you mean to say someone from the Myrmidons planted the bombs?
And Dio pretty much just admitted to doing it?
Yep.
Bastards. I'll never forgive you.
I heard a low, furious muttering behind me, and turned to see Alice, her lips pulled back into a snarl.
I am going to kill you!
Her voice rose to a scream as she charged toward Dio. He ducked out of the way smoothly and pulled something from his pocket. There's the detonator.
There. I like my women a little feisty, but you're taking it a little too far, sweetheart. Tone it down.
What?
You see this? You know what it is, don't you?
Oh my god. Is that the detonator?
So by the way, this was the scene that showed up in the flashback.
Yeah, I recognized it immediately and I was like, oh shoot, why did they show you that?
Yeah, so they totally spoiled this.
Yeah, though this is sort of the obvious story, I'll say, because there's more story to Zero Escape than just this.
Sure.
Exactly. And I assume you know what happens if I press this button?
Dio is like against Zero, but we still don't know how Zero is fighting against Dio.
Yeah, we know virtually nothing about Zero at this point.
Yes, I think I do.
So if he presses this button, it's going to activate a delayed activation mode because he's not close enough to a bomb. So that means that we will have, if he pushes it now, we'll have time to deactivate the bombs, assuming we have the codes.
I forget exactly how it works, but one is delayed, the other's not, but I don't remember which.
If you're close, it's instant, because I remember us talking about that and saying it would make more sense the other way around, because if you're close to the bomb, you'd think you'd want time to get away.
Yeah, that's what we thought, right?
I'm guessing it'll set off both of the bombs.
At least 3 of them.
Well,
at least.
Say both.
At least 4, actually.
Yeah, we know 4, but...
I mean, there's still a number 1 bomb we haven't found.
Correct. And there's one more, too.
No. There are 4 bombs?
Exactly.
There are 4 bombs!
I've planted 4 bombs. They're the ones numbered 1, 2, and 3, but there's also one more. Bomb number 0. Add all that up and you're looking at about 4 tons of explosive power. Those go off and it's all over. That's enough oomph to turn this whole place into a smoking crater.
Don't forget Mr. Octopus.
Yeah.
Aren't you forgetting something?
He's the real power.
That'd kill you too.
So, I'm ready for that. I've got spares.
Spares? Is that what Sigma was talking about?
They're all clones, yeah. I love the irony of Kay being the one questioning this.
Yeah, clones.
I heard Alice whisper something to Clover.
Let's go, Clover. Show him all that training wasn't for nothing.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Right.
Before I had a chance to ask them what was going on, they moved. I would stay quiet if I heard that.
Bastard! Yeah!
She roared and leapt toward Dio, Clover following just behind. Alice threw a punch at Dio's face, and as he dodged, Clover spun out from behind her. Grab that detonator. Dio grunted and turned to focus on Alice, but Clover darted in and snatched the detonator from his hand. Good going.
Clover, get him!
Right! Sigma, catch!
Huh? Before I could respond, Clover had thrown the detonator at me. I scrambled to grab it out of the air and held it to my chest. Just don't accidentally press it when you grab it.
Stop! Let me go! Still let go of me, you asshole!
Yelling didn't do him any good, and Dio found himself subdued by the skillful teamwork of Alice and Clover. Strangely, though, once they had a hold of him, he stopped struggling. I was reminded of a gazelle with its neck in the mouth of a lion. Had he surrendered? Or did he have some trick up his sleeve? It didn't feel right. I didn't have to wait long for my misgivings to prove true. The detonator in my hand suddenly began to flash. What?
Ha! Serves you right.
Did we accidentally push it, or was it a dead man switch, or what?
What are you laughing at?
It's something like a dead man switch.
Her! All of you! God, you're stupid.
What? Why?
See that detonator you threw to Sigma? You activated it. If it gets more than a meter away from me, it sets itself off. We figured someone might try to take it away, so we put in a little safeguard.
I see.
Since you two were kind enough to take it away from me, the bombs have gone from remote control to countdown timer. Go ahead and destroy the detonator if you want. Won't make any difference now. The bombs are gonna go off no matter what.
Unless somebody magically has the code. How long do we have?
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh no.
My condolences.
What can we do to stop them?
I told you that already. First, we need the device that allows us to input information. Then we plug it into each bomb and enter the codes.
Hey Alice, who the hell are you? How do you know all this?
None of your damn business. Just tell me where the input device is.
Well, that's none of your damn business. Fuck! You're gonna break it!
Of course.
That's the point.
That's the plan.
Please, stop!
Just tell me what I want to know.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's in my coat, the right-hand pocket.
Clover, check it out.
Really? She nodded and started digging through his pockets. After a few minutes...
It's no use! There's nothing here!
Did you lie to me?
No, I swear, keep looking.
Oh, maybe Zero took it from him to put it in the safe.
Oh, wait! There is something in here.
It's a middle
Clover pulled her
finger.
hand. What?
It's a middle finger.
Clover pulled her hand from his pocket and held it out. Is that a pill? Like for medicine?
Hey,
Cyanide capsule?
What is this?
Huh? I can't see it. Bring it over here.
No, oh god, that's exactly what it is. He's tricking them.
Mm-hmm.
Clover frowned and moved closer to Dio, holding the pill out towards him. Suddenly he moved, his right hand shaking, snaking out to grab the pill from Clover's hand. Before anyone could react, he shoved it into his mouth. I heard a tiny crack as he bit down on it. Almost immediately, he grimaced in pain. Wonderful.
Shit!
What? What was that?
What do you think it was?
Poison, I guess.
What?
Damn! How could I be so stupid?
It's very textbook. His eyes rolled up into his head, and flecks of spittle began to trickle out from the corners of his mouth. I grabbed him by the hair and shook. What the hell are you doing? Where's the input device?
Lost it.
Yeah.
In my couch. Back home.
Don't screw with me!
Why would he have it, honestly?
Fine.
Yeah.
Don't tell us. How about you give us the deactivation codes instead?
Deactivation. You guys are persistent. Fine. Not gonna do you much good anyway. I'll tell you. But you only get one. This is the deactivation code for Bomb 3. Ready? LXQ LHC NMR.
Why would he give us that?
Just
for
overconfidence, I guess.
Yeah.
His overconfidence has already given us 2 bomb codes now.
Mm-hmm. What about the other 3?
Like, to be fair, if there weren't time-traveling people, like, he wouldn't be wrong about this.
He was justified in the previous route in believing that it really was too late to do anything. But in this route, it makes no sense.
Well, he doesn't think there's a deactivation device because we don't know where one is, and he doesn't know where one is.
Yeah, but assuming he came here with one, and it's the one that Zero then put in the safe, then he should know that there is at least one around, and if he doesn't know where it is, he should be concerned about that.
I don't think he brought one, though, is the thing. Because why would he bring one?
So Zero was just prepared with one already?
I guess so.
That would imply that Zero expected him to come, and expected him to plant the bombs. That would mean that he was actually a planned part of Zero's game, not just something that Zero had to compensate for at the last minute.
I mean, most deaths are usually planned in Zero Escape, so the
True,
fact that
but
the old lady died is sort of planned, probably.
Since he had infiltrated the game, I thought there was a chance that this was not part of Zero's original design, but... Tell us the other 3! Oh, what?
Zero's design is usually so complicated that, like, if there was something that ruined part of it, it probably wouldn't work at all, so...
Yeah.
Also, you should probably write down the one that he told us.
Oh, shoot.
It's still
I didn't
in the
even think
log,
about that.
But, yeah, I've got a notepad thing on my computer, so I've got all of it written down.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just copy it here so that we have it.
Yeah. LXQ, LHC, last hand...
Large Hadron Collider.
Oh. I guess that's a more, existing acronym. And then NMR.
So this looks correct?
Yeah. If it's not correct, I can always just Google it later, because it's not like he told us, like, a false password.
He didn't even seem to hear me.
My body will be a part of the foundation of a bright future.
Yeah, when the bomb goes off, it's going to be very bright. His voice was weak, and more foam was dribbling out of his mouth.
Such a beautiful world. May brother live in everlasting glory.
Those were the last words Dio spoke. He died with a strange, happy smile. Damn.
He only gave us the password for one of the bombs. This is bad. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
How much time have we got?
25 minutes.
Are you sure?
Yes. When he told us the time, I checked my bracelet. It said exactly 30 minutes.
You mean the bombs are gonna go off the same time the next set of doors opens?
Yes.
That's nice for keeping track.
The time on your bracelet is the time we have left.
Oh, so 25 minutes.
This isn't good. I was hoping that we might be able to escape through the white doors, but...
It takes 5 minutes for the primary door to open and close. So...
Yes, I know. There's no way we can get through them before the explosion happens.
Well, there's no point just standing around. We should start looking. We need 3 things. The password input device.
And the remaining 2 bombs, right?
Right.
We also need passwords for all the bombs other than number 3.
Leave that to us and Phi.
Exactly.
Maybe Dio has a note or something.
Hold on. Let me check.
She knelt down and quickly checked his pockets and sleeves, then sat back on her heels, frustrated.
Damn. He's clean.
She looked pale.
Then we'll just have to hope we find it somewhere. Tenmyoji, can you go tell Luna what's happened?
Right. I'm on it.
Good. The rest of you, let's move out. We can do this. Let's go.
We all took off at a run, heading to different parts of the building. But all of our searching turned up nothing. And as we searched, the clock kept ticking. Oh no. Oh no. Then, at last, the chromatic doors opened.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes.
Our time had run out. We watched the white doors open. Were they doors to heaven or to hell? The thought had barely had time to flutter through my mind before everything went white.
Like the chromatic doors.
Yeah. We didn't even have time to say goodbye. 1,000 emotions flooded my brain in those last moments. Why? How? How had we ended up this way? Then a blistering wave of heat, like the surface of the sun itself, wiped out any lingering thoughts.
Well, I guess we don't see it properly then.
Yeah.
Or this wasn't like us seeing it from the outside.
Yeah. My consciousness slipped away into a bottomless pool of darkness. Although the bombs probably explode in more than one route. Because remember, there was that time, one of the very first premonitions we had was of a bomb going off and Phi being like, thanks for sticking with us.
I guess,
so there's at least one other route where we blow up to the bombs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's got to be a route where we solve the bombs, and what if you don't have all the information for them?
Mm-hmm. Neither heaven nor hell, only the void. Oh!
Yep.
This is actually one of the actual endings, huh?
Yeah. This isn't the
Alice end.
Yeah, it's not the true end, but it's a really important one for the true end. Just like all the endings are important ones, I guess.
We got an achievement, best served cold, for that. We have now finished 2 primary routes, the Dio and the Alice route.
Yep.
And now, I see, so we had to get through that route, or at least up to that reveal point, I guess. in order to unlock the who planted the bomb then, huh?
We know for sure it's Dio, and it's not just coincidence that, like, Dio's a murderer and they're the bomb planter.
So we don't have the ability to get through the username and password yet.
Yeah.
We still don't know how Phi and K can be saved, or how we can survive 5 minutes, although technically I think we do know that one. But
yeah, you probably know it, but...
And of course, we still have more Temioji's route to unlock, but next time we can return, and we can go back to these who planted the bomb things in Alice's route. Which one should we start with? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
What's the difference here?
In the green door one, you went through the archives, which also means that this was the route where you stopped Alice from killing herself, I think, and she cut you when you saw your white blood, while the other one, you went through the control room, so you have the input device, and you've gained Phi, and you yourself know that you can, like, travel through time.
In this rightmost path.
Yeah, in the rightmost one.
So this rightmost path actually has a lot going for it that would indicate that it might have a lengthy time to it.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start with the left one?
Yeah, especially, like, the fact that it's completely hidden implies that it's an important route, just like the fact that the escape on the far left route was hidden.
Yeah.
And now it's got an extremely big lock behind itself.
All right, so maybe next time we'll start returning to this who planted the bomb, and then proceed from there and find out what happens in that scene. I'll be very interested, because those were some big cliffhangers that I was very excited to break through, and I've been waiting a long time, like checking back on the flowchart. Have we unlocked it yet? Have we unlocked it yet? And now we finally have.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.